Okay, and we should be live. Sorry for that, I made an issue, well, I made a mistake, and so I had to restart the stream. Completely my fault. Everything should be cool now though, so that's good. Right, where's it going? Stream is up. Looking good. Okay. Some people still haven't been invited. Let's see, who's missing? Okay, I'll invite him. So yeah, we're here already at round 4. I can't believe it. It's flying by. Feels like yesterday we were in Hungary, but here we are already at round 4 in Abu Dhabi. This is round 4 out of 9, I believe, so we're nearly to the halfway point of the season, which will be a good indicator for really what we're expecting, if I'm being honest. How many drivers have we got here? We've got 14 drivers, 15 drivers. Is that okay? So 15 drivers in the lobby. Don't know how many we're expecting today. Hopefully a full grid, and we'll have to see who can lead in Abu Dhabi, because it's been very all over the place so far this season. Different winners, different people being fast, different slow. So really been unpredictable so far this season, and hopefully we get another very exciting race today. Obviously we're hoping for a few less crashes than last time in Singapore, but the overall racing over the last couple of races has seemed like it's getting cleaner, so good signs as we wait for the last 3 drivers to join, I believe. There's another one, the last 2. Granty boy, keep an eye on him, he is very fast, and we'll be hoping to prove that yet again here today. Who else have we got in here that could be in contention for a win? Or really any of them, because so far the season has proved that anything can happen at any point. So I wouldn't write anyone off at this point, but I'd definitely keep your eyes on Granty boy. He is looking especially fast so far in this league. Right, okay, as we wait for the last 2 drivers. And the race has been delayed till 5 minutes past 4, so I'll try and entertain you guys for the next 3 minutes without any racing action going on. Let's have a look. What's everyone saying? Check that my audio is good and everything. Yup noob. Sick. Yeah, so oh god, let's invite Coutinho. He's run into some issues. God, lots of issues today. Hopefully this doesn't continue over into the race, because we would rather not have all these issues occur mid-race, because well, I can't invite them as spectator, and I don't think other drivers would be too willing to invite them back either. So we'll have to see. Anyway, all you guys in chat, make sure you let me know what you're thinking, who you think might win, what your predictions are for this race, because as always a bit of interaction with you guys is fun, and if you guys aren't commenting anything, it might get boring for me, especially during the middle of qualifying when no one's on track. Okay, we have 20 players in the lobby, meaning that we're only missing 2 drivers, because Coutinho hasn't gone to spectate yet, interestingly. What else is going on? Obviously you guys all know, or should know by now, that later on today at 6 o'clock will be when the F2 race starts, and tomorrow at 6 o'clock will be when the F1 race starts. What's going on there? I'm being given a message saying that someone's trying to log in. Hopefully that doesn't cause any problems. I don't see why it should, as the time is now 5 minutes past and we should be getting ready to race with 18 drivers currently in the lobby. So hopefully another couple of people can join before the race starts. If not, we'll have to race with a slightly reduced grid, which is not good to see, but obviously sometimes just can't be helped. Okay, ready up, they say. Yeah, so a couple of people who should be here but aren't, and drivers hopefully can all ready up. Yeah, countdown is started as we're getting ready to move into qualifying. As always, 80 minutes short qualifying here, so drivers should be able to get a couple of runs in to try and get their best times, allowing for some mistakes. Okay, Abu Dhabi, very strange track in my opinion. Not really a massive fan, but I know some people who like it, and I guess that's cool for them. It's very difficult to overtake here unless you're overtaking down the straight, especially with the braking zones into the chicanes are very tricky to get right. So pulling off some moves there might be difficult. Turn 1 isn't the biggest overtaking opportunity, it's quite narrow across the apex, so running too wide through there is very difficult, and people will probably end up off the track if they try it. Other overtaking opportunities on this track are very rare. I mean, you could probably try some very audacious moves into some corners, but wouldn't usually recommend it. So here we are. Who's going to be the first one on track, I wonder? Okay. Just waiting for the first car to leave the pits. It looks like it's going to be one of the Ferraris. Which one will it be? It'll be Anu or Alex. Looks like it's going to be Alex. So I believe that's McLaren down there is coming out onto track. Coco or Flip Flop. Looks like it's Flip Flop. So the first one on track for this Abu Dhabi qualifying is Flip Flop, and he's been doing alright so far this year. He's put in a couple of solid performances. I think his first race was in Russia. I don't think he did the Hungarian Grand Prix, so I'm sure he's looking forward to this one, the number 13 car. We also have Alex and Matt out on track, along with Lexa, so we're just going to have to see what those guys can do. More and more drivers starting to come out of the pits. Obviously some of them are still tweaking their setups, so can't be helped. It's going to take... Oh, Matt there is not the line he'll want to be taking during qualifying, I'm sure. Let's just see how he's doing throughout the rest of the lap here. The strategy I think most people will be trying today will be the two-stop. One of the very few tracks with the two-stop is probably the fastest way to go. The hards here are not very good at all. So probably two sets of softs and a set of mediums for most drivers here. Would be kind of surprised to see anything else, if I'm being honest. but I'm sure someone will try something, as they always do. We have a yellow flag. It's looking like nothing serious, probably just someone creating a bit of space for themselves. And here is Flip Flop starting his lap, the first person to start their lap in this session. Let's see how he goes through this first sector. Looking good at the moment. Down into the first chicane. Let's see how he's doing in the first sector. 17 seconds for the first sector dead. So I'm sure he'll be happy with that one. Let's see what Matt does. 17.1 for Matt. So faster than Matt at least for Flip Flop. As he comes down the long straight. Expect to see lots of moves done on the straight, but probably before the braking zone, I think, as he locks up into the chicane. Let's see what that does for his lap. Doesn't look like it's affected him too badly, so he'll not mind that one at all. Let's see, very wide entry into this corner. You want to apex late, as Alex has left the session. Is that disconnection, or is that someone else? Hopefully he can get back in here very soon, as I missed what Flip Flop did through the middle sector. But it doesn't matter, we'll see at the end of the lap as he comes through the hotel section. Very tight, twisty and technical, very difficult to get right. Final two corners, not as bad, as he runs a bit wide, but he's alright, no invalidations. Final corner, let's see what he's done. It's a 1:34.5. I'm sure he'll be very happy with that as his first lap so far. Now, next across the line is Yopop. As he rounds the final corner, he's out of ERS, so maybe not the greatest lap going to be set here. 1:34.4, better than Flip Flop by a whole tenth, whereas Matt is a very disappointing lap in 1:36. He's along with Lexa, so it'll be very interesting to see what's going on with those guys. As I believe the next person to cross the line will be J-Dog. Or is he just starting his lap? Looks like he's just starting his lap. So I think, unless Seifi's on a fast lap, which he is as he comes around the final corner, what's he going to be? And it's third place with a 1:36.2. And following him will be Lopez through the final corner with that very nice looking helmet. And that's sixth place with a not very great lap, and Lucist follows him with a 1:36.9 and Anu with a 1:37.5. So I don't know if these guys are having issues on their lap or they're running into traffic, but not been the greatest show from some of the drivers so far, with Yopop being the only one, with the exception of Flip Flop, to get into the 1:34s. And there's a yellow flag. Doesn't look like anything major, just a slow car, as Aled sets a 1:36 dead for P4. So a wide spread at the top of the field so far. I believe J-Dog is coming through to the final sector, followed by Haas. There is a slow moving Racing Point who's got moving again. Okay, let's see what J-Dog's going to do here, because he has he's been doing alright so far this season. I think he's raced in the last 2 races if I'm right, and he's picked up some nice points as he crosses the line for P4 with a 1:35.9. Next across the line would be the Haas of V8 Junior to start his lap, and there was a slow moving Ferrari. I think he was just getting out of the way of the McLaren, who is on a fast lap. Or it's probably Coco. So let's see who's going to come up to cross the line next. Is it going to be the Ferrari? Or is he going into the pits? Anu, is he looking to improve his lap? He doesn't improve. So, very unfortunate for him, as more yellow flags caused by people going slowly on that main straight to get out of the way of V8 Junior. We have both Alphas going into the pits by the looks of it, and next, lot of clear track ahead of V8 Junior now, as he is the only one in the final sector. He sets a 58-second final middle sector, sorry. So he should be on for a fairly decent lap here. Closely followed by that Renault there of J-Dog, I believe. Is it J-Dog or is it Paolo? It's J-Dog. So I don't know if J-Dog's on a fast lap or not, but it's not going to be the best he can do no matter what he's doing. Nice blue helmet here for the Haas driver, which is very unique with the black and gold car. So let's see, he's out of the RS as he comes to cross the line, and he sets a 1:37.9, the slowest lap of the session so far. He will not be too happy with that. What's his teammate is come to start his lap. If we can follow him for the lap, let's see what's going on. As the Red Bull is going to come out of the pits right in his path, which I don't think he's going to appreciate. So both have... Ooh, and that's ruined his lap there. Going off track because of the Red Bull. Very unfortunate for him here. Let's see, who else is on a fast lap? Looks like Ahmed and Flip Flop are on fast laps here. So Ahmed's just coming through into the middle sector, and Flip Flop is not too far behind him. What's the middle sector? What's the first sector here going to be for Flip Flop? It's nearly a tenth quicker than his previous, so that should put him right in contention to go provisional pole here as we move into the last 10 minutes of the session. Make that 9 minutes. Ahmed, on the other hand, coming through the chicane, very slow chicane here. Not a fan of the chicane myself. Comes down the second DRS straight. We'll see what his sector time is at the end of the straight. Staying left as he goes wide on entry, and his middle sector is 3.7 seconds down on his previous lap. So I don't think there's much chance of him improving at all here. And what's Flip Flop done? He's 3/10 up on his lap. Flip Flop. Very impressive here. There's a yellow flag. It looks like the Haas of Ahmed. Not Ahmed, sorry. Dark. Slowing down to get out of the way of the Red Bull. A lock up there from the McLaren driver, but he doesn't seem like he's lost too much pace. Coming through into the final two corners. Let's see how it's going to be for him. Yellow flags again. Just more slow moving cars. And this lap is not better. Well, it is better by 6/10, but not good enough to get past Yopop, which I'm sure he'll be very disappointed by. As Yopop is looking very strong, and he improves his time again with 1:34.3. And with every lap he completes, he's looking more and more out of reach for the rest of these drivers here. Very impressive so far today from Yopop. And I believe Matt is pulling into the pits, so he's obviously not happy with his lap, which is unfortunate for him. And we have JJ Dog coming to start his lap. Is anyone else on a flying lap? Lexa looks like they're on a flying lap. Coming into the final sector here as Simon, or Simo, has set a very disappointing lap of a 1:43.1 there. He had traffic there. As the number 69 car rounds the final corner. Nice. He comes to cross the line, and he sets a worse time, a very poor time. Looking like lots of traffic is being an issue here for the drivers, as Anu comes to start his lap, and Seife comes to complete his lap. He's 5/10 up so far, and he's a second faster, putting him P3 with a 1:35.0. Very nice lap there from the Red Bull driver. Very well known within ERO, of course, so you would expect nothing less. Also a big fan of his helmet there, as it looks like Flip Flop has come to the pits, and the next car to cross the line will be the Toro Rosso of Yopop, and he comes into the pits as expected. JJ Dog is the next car to cross the line as he comes through the final sector, through the hotel section. Let's see how his lap's going to be. Right on board here with him, looking to round the final corner now. It looks good, or at least faster than his previous one. No, not good enough to get to the top 3 though, and Simo sets a P3 worthy time of 1:34.9. So JJ Dog gets put down to 5th place with his 1:35.5, and now 6th as Coco Racing sets a very impressive lap, 1:34.7. Who's next across the line? It looks like it's going to be Lexa. Can the 69 car improve here? No, a very poor lap again. Looks like they're getting blocked, and there's a spinning Mercedes, or is he just stopped? Very dangerous place to stop if he has just stopped. I'm not sure that the other drivers will be too appreciative of that, as it looks like the next car to cross the line will be one of the Haas drivers. Looks like it's V8 Junior on his outlap. Apparently he's invalidated his outlap. Very interesting. Let's see who else is on a flyer. Hanyu is on a flyer, as is JJ Dog, who will be the next car to cross the line, because Simo, I'm assuming, will come into the pits this lap. So JJ Dog should be the next driver to complete a flying lap. As we ride on board with him through this final sector, under the bridge, very smooth. It's not a very fast lap, so he's probably been blocked somewhere, and he should dive into the pits. Yes, he does. Next driver to cross the line looks like it's going to be one of the Red Bulls, and it is Matt. Let's see what he can do here on his outlap. So not much. Lucis is still in the pits. Is Alid coming to complete his lap? He's not. He's coming into the pits. One of Ahmed does start his lap now into the first turn. Very nice. And one of the Ferraris has come into the pits, followed by one of the McLarens. The next driver to cross the line will be Flip Flop Fish, who is on his outlap. And after him it will be V8 Junior, who is on a flying lap. And he's 5/10 up as he goes into the middle sector. So good for him, but not good enough as the next car ahead of him is a whole second ahead. And he is currently running about 3.5 seconds off the pace of the leaders. So not a very good showing so far for Haas in this race. Let's hope he can pull something out in the final sector. Is a yellow flag? Nothing important by the looks of it. Yes, this isn't looking like an amazing lap if I'm being honest. He's not being very aggressive as he comes to the final turn. Is he going to improve? Just about. He improves by 9/10. He's still not still not good enough to move him up any positions, but is much better. And Matt is out of the session. Let's see what happened to him. Oh, he's gone straight on as he's come out of the hotel section. Very disappointing for him, and he will start at best in 10th position. Next car to complete a flying lap will be the Williams of Granty boy by the looks of it, who's on his outlap. He's not set a lap yet, although him, Paolo and Alex have yet to set a lap, which is a strange tactic as we run 1 minute of the session remaining and Alex and Paolo don't have time. I can't see that they have enough time to be able to do anything in this session. I know Alex left earlier, it doesn't seem like he's been able to get back in, and unfortunately for him I can't do much about that. So yeah, and Paolo cannot get in either, and no one looks like they're inviting him. As Flip Flop Fish more improves his time, first driver into the 1:33 is very impressive from him today. He is looking like a strong favourite to lead this race. Okay, the next car to cross the line will be Flip Flop Fish with a 1:33.8. Has That's an amazing lap, if I'm being honest. Not what I was expecting today from these guys. And that's a much better lap from Alid, puts him up into P6. Next car to cross the line will be the Mercedes of Ahmed, as he pulls into the pits instead. Let's see what Coco, who's on his outlap, the number 74 car, will be looking for a time good enough to beat his teammate here, who is on provisional pole. As Lopez crosses the line to start his lap, and the next car to cross the line will be Anu to start his lap, followed by Granty Boy, who's coming to complete his lap. Does have time for another one though if it's not good. And that's a 1:34.9. Good enough for 4th place. So he'll be happy with that, especially since he's done it on the medium tyre. Very important to note there, he will be starting on the medium tyre. As Safety comes to complete his lap, what's it going to be? No improvement, only just slower, unfortunately for him. As JJ Dog completes his lap in P8, and the Lucist does not do much better, only 0.3 improvement to get into P13. Simo completes his lap up into P4, and next across the line is Aled. Let's see if he's 0.3 up, so let's see if he can move up any positions here. Maybe get ahead of Safety in the Red Bull. He does. He gets up into P6 with those soft tyres. So the only drivers remaining, as the Force India does not improve its lap, is Lopez, who's going to cross the line next, Anu, Granty Boy and Coco. So let's see what Lopez can do. And he does not move up. Okay, what's the Ferrari of Anu going to do here? Is he slightly faster? Half a second up, that puts him P8. And now what's Coco? Coco's gone into the pits, he's satisfied with his P3. And that is it for running and qualifying, unless Granty Boy can do something incredible with those medium tyres. Doesn't look like he is, he's just going slowly. He's the last one, someone tell him to retire, because it's going to take a while for him to get round his lap and into the pits. Okay, and Paolo has managed to get back into the session, so hopefully he can make some positions up in this race. Oh, what? He should have retired. It would have saved your tyres a bit more, Granty Boy. Oh well. Starting 5th place on the mediums, he is looking very strong for the start of this race. But not as strong, not as close a session as we were hoping for here, as Flip Flop Fish takes pole, 2nd place goes to Yopop, and 3rd is Coco. So McLaren 1-3, very strong showing from them today. As Williams 4-5, also impressive today. So they will be hoping to get lots of points for their team in this race, and not run into too much issues as have occurred in the last few races. As we start the countdown to go to the race. So make sure you guys in the comments section are telling me what you guys think might happen. Yopop like DNF mode. Okay, as we wait for the drivers to start the formation lap. Let's see. My favourite to win this race, touch wood, don't want to commentators curse anyone, will probably be the pole sitter Flip Flop Fish, but I think Granty Boy, if he can get a good start, will be very dangerous in this race. I'm hoping that maybe the top, at least top 3 maybe, could be a close race throughout, keep us guessing who's going to win. Don't want another boring race really, want lots of excitement to make this one the best race yet. I mean, Russia was good, but it was very exciting because of all the carnage. Hopefully we can have a race here which is exciting because of on-track battles instead of carnage, as the drivers start the formation lap. So it'll be very interesting to see who's starting on what tyre. Okay, so our top four, which is Flip Flop, Yopop, Coco and Simo, are all on the softs, but Granty Boy has opted for the medium tyre at the start of this race from P5 on the grid, which is going to look very dangerous for the rest of this race. P6 down to P10 are all on softs, that's Aled, Saifi, Anu, JJ, Ahmed, and then P11, who is the first man on the grid to have a free choice of tyres, has gone with the mediums. That's Matt, followed by Lexa on the softs, who's probably going to look to make up some positions very early on in this race, make the most of those soft tyres and see if he can try and pull something off to get some good points. Lucist, Lopez, V8 Junior and Dark have all opted for the medium tyres, and the last two, Alex, who doesn't seem to have managed to rejoin, and Paolo, who is not going very fast, so I don't know if that means he's not in the session or if he's having issues. I don't know what's going on with him, but he's going to make these guys wait on the grid for a very long time if he keeps going around at this pace. Lots of tyre cooling will be happening, but he's starting on the soft tyre as well. Very straight. Ooh, and Flip Flop stops as it looks like Yopop was backing off to try and create more space as we come into the start here, around in the final corner, and they'll form up on the grid. Yeah, lucky you noticed that, otherwise he could have been in a bad situation. And one of the Hasses seems to have had an issue and has teleported to the start line, so already having issues in this race, as we now wait for Paolo, the only driver remaining, to not be formed up on the grid, as Alex just doesn't seem to have made it. He's just not here at all. So we're going to have an empty space on P17 on the grid. Only 17 runners. And we have... Are the lights going to come on? Obviously I can't see them. Oh, no. Okay, one light. And we have 5 lights. And away we go for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Looks like it's been a good start for Flip Flop Fish, but Yopop has managed to pull alongside. Is he going to do something into turn 1? Too wide through turn 1, and Yopop has got the lead. Simo also got past Coco, and Granty Boy has managed to get past Aled. Very clean from these drivers here into the first corner, as Lexa and Matt collide and are out. There's a very slow moving, looks like V8 Junior got off to a bad start as the virtual safety car comes out, and yeah, just on the exit of turn 3 there, they've looked like they've collided and gone straight on. So very unfortunate for the pair of them. I wonder what happened to V8 Junior at the start, because he was, I think he was about P14, 15, and then all of a sudden is miles behind the next car. 7 seconds behind Saifi here, who has a 5-second time penalty for something I didn't see what happened. Maybe he got caught up with Lexa and Matt. Wouldn't surprise me with the positioning on the grid. So as this virtual safety car is still out, Yopop leads from Flip Flop, Simo and Coco as we go green once again. Granty Boy keeps his P5th, Aled P6, Ahmed P7, Anu P8, Lopez P9 and Lucist rounds out the top 10 as we have some battling going on between Dark and J-Dog, it looks like. Dark looks like he got the better of that situation, and we have yellow flags as Paolo has hit the inside wall and is out of the race. Is this going to cause another safety car? Doesn't look like it will, but very unfortunate for Paolo there. Just clipped the inside wall. Yopop. Oh, and we have a Ferrari. Anu looking the wrong way, and Safety has no front wing. Okay, so absolute carnage here on the first lap. Right after I said it looked like they'd all been doing well, and V8 Junior is very strangely already miles behind, and I don't think he's had an incident. We have yellow flags for Dark, it looks like, but doesn't seem like there's too much of an issue, as J-Dog has managed to re-overtake Dark and has very quickly dropped him, so maybe that had something to do with the Paolo incident that would have happened right in front of them. Okay, so we have Flip-Flop very close to our leader here, and Coco is even closer to Simo with Granty Boy right behind him. What's going to happen here? Looking to the outside, and no changes of position there. No one went for a move. Okay. You see they're cutting 3-second time penalty for Lopez, already having multiple warnings. Not what he wanted to see right at the beginning of this race. But as we come through the final sector here, you can tell these drivers are trying to cut those orange sausages, because if you touch those, it's going to unsettle the car through the corner. Could cause a spin, but either way you're definitely going to lose a lot of time. So if more a safety car as Dark as retired from the session, what happened to him? Let's see if Safety can work it out. It looks like it's happened at the same place Paolo had his incident. So Safety, who's just pitted, will be able to re-catch up to the pack. And it looks like we've had one car pit. No, that's the safety car, I'm stupid. No, we've had the Renault of JJ Dog pit. He's the only one to do so, so I wonder what kind of advantage he thinks he's gaining here. So, positions haven't changed too much, as we now have 13 runners, and Alex, who still for some reason is classified even though he didn't start the race. Yopop leads from Flip-Flop, Simo, Coco, Granty Boy, Aled, Ahmed, Lopez, Lucist, Anu, V8 Junior, JJ Dog and Safety. Important to note that JJ Dog and Safety are both on fairly fresh rubber, but then again no one on the field's on very old rubber because it's only been 2 laps. Lap 3 and we've had a virtual safety car and a safety car, which you can see is waiting down at the first chicane for the drivers to pass. And drivers are now in the 3rd sector coming up to the hotel area, and someone whose name I don't recognise has joined. Okay, I wonder who's invited them then. Don't know, to be honest. Now, are any of the drivers going to decide that they want to pit second time round? I doubt it, because these tyres... Okay! All of them, by the looks of it. Yopop and Flip-Flop, Simo has carried on. Yopop and Flip-Flop have opted for new rubber, along with Aled, Ahmed, and that looks like it's about it. So, very interesting from those 4 drivers there. I wonder what they're going to be trying for this race, as Yopop takes the hard tyres. So he's going to try and go as far as he can, but I doubt he's going to be able to make it all the way. He'll probably try and put on some softs at the end of the race here, which will be very interesting come the end of the race, as V8 Junior also pits for a fresh set of tyres. For the soft runners, it's probably not the worst idea to pit now, because the field is still very close and we could have more safety cars later on in the race. So it might work out for them, but it does seem a little bit earlier to be getting rid of this rubber that they started the race on. Oh well, we'll have to see later, see if it's been a good decision or a bad one. So, after the pit stops, the order of the field is now Simo, followed by Coco, and Granty Boy, our leading medium tyre runner. As the medium tyre runners look like they've benefited hugely from this situation, with Granty Boy, Lopez and Lucis from P3 down to P5, with a strategy advantage over the leading two. Yopop in P6 on the hard tyres. It'll be very interesting to see what he can do with those hard tyres, as he's already proved he's a very quick driver, so maybe he can make them work and get some good distance out of them. Definitely still looking in contention to win this race. Following Yopop is Anyu on the softs, who's had a very he's gained positions, as we can see. He's gained a single position out of all of that carnage, which he probably would have been hoping for more, especially since he's on some soft tyres that he started the race on. As flip-flop. No, not flip-flop. Who's coming to the pits? One of the... is it Coco? I could have sworn someone just came into the pits. I must be going crazy. So flip-flop, Aled, Ahmed and JJ Dog all on mediums, so they'll definitely be looking to get the better of the likes of Anyu, and if they can stay with the pack, maybe even Coco and Simo later on in the race. V8 Junior, the second driver to be on the hards, so we'll have to see if he can do what him and Yopop are hoping to do and take these to the point where they can get some soft tyres on at the end of the race. I don't doubt that they could, it's definitely possible. And rounding out the grids, 13 runners, is Safi on the mediums. This safety car is taking forever, and I hate it. I want to see some racing, not some Mercedes leading the grid, as we quite often see in normal Formula 1. If any of you guys want to check out the F2 and F1 divisions, remember F1 is happening tomorrow at 6 o'clock and F2 will be happening today at 6 o'clock, so make sure you're there for those races. Safety car is in this lap, finally. Oh my god, I thought I was going to die before this safety car came in, it's taking forever. So it'll be up to Simo now to lead the grid as the safety car lights go out, and hopefully he can do so without having people brake check each other, as for some reason has become a thing in this game where people just under the safety car brake checking each other, which is very disappointing to see. Okay, as we come into the end of the lap here, hotel section, Simo will be looking to absolutely maximise the advantage he has of those soft tyres to get away from the rest of the pack on mediums and hards, and he'll probably hope to get away from Coco too, because 3 laps time there will be DRS enabled, but someone has taken damage at the front here, and Flip-Flop Fish has a 5-second time penalty for collision with Anyu as we get racing again, and Coco is looking to the inside of Simo into turn 1 as they both go wide at turn 1, and squirm on. Okay, Coco managed to catch it, but he was a bit squirmy as he came back onto the track. Lost a lot of time to Simo already. The gap is already at 7/10 as Safi overtakes both V8 Junior and Flip-Flop Fish. Is there damage for these two? Not for V8 Junior. And Flip-Flop Fish has gone into the pits. Is that for damage? I assume so, after we did see someone lose their front wing. Very disappointing for Flip-Flop Fish, who was looking very fast here, having grabbed pole. Anyway, we move on to the fight at the front, as Coco is under pressure from Granty Boy, the P2, and Ahmed overtakes Aled into the chicane. Is it going to stick? It looks like it will, as Yopop gets past Lopez. A drag race down to the next chicane. Yopop will be on the outside, so Lopez will probably have the advantage. He turns in, there's contact. Just about keep it on the track for both of them. Is Lopez going to get to come back? He is. So, doesn't stick for Yopop, who now looks to the outside around the triple right-hander. this could go wrong as he backs out of it. Very good decision from him there. As someone goes off, it's that Ahmed has gone off the track and been overtaken by JJ Dog. So these guys need to learn how to keep it on the track. Is there another move from Yopop here? Is there contact? No. He's gone for a massive dive into the final corner. Well done. Wow, that was an amazing dive, but now all this battling has put him 4 seconds behind the top 3. So these top 3 drivers have managed to do what they were hoping and got away from the field very quickly. After Yopop does not have DRS to help him for the rest of this battle, so he'll be back under pressure for Lopez, Lucis and JJ Dog, as we have Anu going round. Looks like he was tagged from behind by Ahmed maybe? I'm not sure, but that puts him now down into P12 behind the Haas of V8 Junior. So not what he wanted out of this safety car restart, as Granty Boy makes a move around the outside of Coco, turns to the inside of the second part of the chicane, hits the curb, and he forces Coco out of room, and he really had nowhere to go off that curb there, as Ahmed receives a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. And Yopop, to be fair to him, is catching this lead train very nicely, despite being on the harder tyre. And Granty Boy, who is now behind his teammate, might be hoping for a bit of team orders to get him into the lead of this race on his better strategy, maybe, with the mediums. I'm sure if him and Simo have any kind of communication at all, we'll see a very efficient switch coming up. Is it going to happen? Because obviously they don't want to lose the place to Coco either. So and there is some weaving going on here. He's telling Simo, let me pass, as Safety receives a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Coming through the first sector, there's not really an opportunity to overtake until the end of the straight now. And Ahmed is very close behind JJ Dog. Let's see if he can get anything to happen into this next chicane. JJ Dog does go defensive around the outside from Ahmed, as Aled does the same thing to Safety behind them, and it's moved, job done. Ahmed's passed, and Safety, however, is still side by side with Aled. Is he going to get better traction at this corner? It looks like he might, as Flip-Flop Fish with the fastest lap of the race. Unsurprising considering he's on fresh mediums. As Anu pits, probably for new front wing, as JJ Dog is back fighting Ahmed, and oh, that wasn't too clean there. Was there any damage to the cars? Doesn't look like it, so there is. JJ Dog does have damage and will now be slow as they go full wide into the next chicane, because he ghosts, and Aled receives a 3-second time penalty. Safety comes past JJ Dog, so has made a lot of moves now in this last lap. And now Ahmed is ahead of JJ Dog, and I'm sure Aled will find a way past very soon. He goes around the outside of the triple right-hander. What a move! Very nice, but he does find himself on the inside of Ahmed, which causes a bit of trouble, as Aled and JJ Dog are fighting again. So maybe all of this close racing is not hurting JJ Dog as bad as it first appeared to. But on that note, Safety is now pulled away from Ahmed, already out DRS, and is very quickly catching Lucist for P6. As there's a move for second place. Oh, and Coco is round, and so is Simo. And Yopop. All 3 of them have gone round and are losing positions by the second. So what looked like a very promising race for the 3 of them has all ended with one very silly incident. Didn't quite catch what happened there, but it's not looking good for Simo or Yopop, or Flip-Flop Fish for that matter. Not Flip-Flop Fish. As there's another yellow flag as Coco has hit the wall. And V8 Junior, 10-second time penalty for corner cutting. But was that to avoid an incident? I wonder. I'm sure if it was, he'll be appealing that. No, he just doesn't have a front wing, so maybe he got tangled with one of those front runners, and Lucis looks like he's having problems. No front wing. What's happened to him as he's dropping down the order? Absolute carnage here in the first 10 laps of this Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Oh, maybe his wing's not as bad. Maybe he caught it, just a bad exit or something. JJ Dog is tucked right up behind him now. And Granty Boy really does look like he can run away with this one now. 8 seconds ahead of Lopez, who is P2. 3-second time penalty for V8 Junior. More corner cutting. That was out of the chicane as Yopop gets past Coco, unsurprisingly. And Lucis loses out to JJ Dog. So JJ Dog, despite his damage, is still doing work in this race. And that's V8 Junior getting overtaken by Flip Flop Fish. So it looks like a mistake down at the hairpin for him. Obviously his damage doesn't help as he goes majorly wide there. Simo pits, as does Coco and V8 Junior to fix the damage. So that hard tyre strategy does not look like it's going to pay dividends for V8 Junior here, as he'll probably have to go with another set of mediums if he has them, as Yopop is round again. Absolute disaster here for him the last 2 laps. He's gone from looking very strong in this race to down in P9 with damage. So his very good qualifying performance and good race so far has all been put to waste by the looks of it. And Lopez is further falling behind Granty Boy and now is overtaken by Safi down through the second DRS corner, and Lopez, for good measure, gets a 3-second time penalty. Those penalties look like they could be very crucial by the end of this race. Everyone is still running fairly closely in their groups. Oh, and Aled, who is not too far behind this battle either, as Safi has a bit of a moment. And after all that commotion, really Lopez and the likes of Ahmed are looking very strong, as they've made 10 and 7 positions respectively off of all this chaos. Safi going up 5 into P2 and Granty Boy leading with 4 positions gained as Lucis pits for what I'm sure is fresh tyres, because I don't think he's been in an instance so far. There is a slow moving Yopop. He's got to pit. I know his strategy and everything, but he's got to pit as he does. No front wing at all. Absolute disaster here for him. He's going to drop right down to the back because of this one, as V8 Junior is currently running in dead last, P13. I'm sure if you ask him, he'll say that Alex is last, but let's be real. And what tyres is it? It's medium tyres going onto that Toro Rosso. So he will have to make another stop, and he will be very far behind the pack. If he wants to get anything out of this race, he's got to put in some qualifying laps at this point. As Granty Boy is looking untouchable, now 9 seconds ahead of the next car. Safi, who is still locked in combat with Ahmed, Lopez, Aled. 4-way scrap for P2. This is what we wanted to see, a good battle. But we were hoping for this to go down without the carnage surrounding it. Maybe it was commentator's curse, maybe I should have just kept my mouth shut earlier. But very unfortunate for some of the drivers as Granty Boy pits. So this one means that Safi will now take the lead of the race. Granty Boy is getting rid of his mediums and he's going on to soft tyres. He thinks that it's now time to make this switch. Is he right? Let's see. 12. So he now has 16 laps to go. 17 at a stretch. Ahmed is going very slowly. I think he's had a spin. Contact with the front runners maybe, as he loses position to JJ Dog, who even with his front wing damage is now looking very strong in this race. P4 with half a front wing. He's got to be very proud of that. Very impressive so far from him today. As there's a battle going on for P2, Aled gets past Lopez, and it looked like it's going to stay that way. Will Lopez be able to get him back with DRS on the second straight? Let's see, he's looking too far behind already. Very poor exit out of that chicane has put him on the back foot. Yeah, he's way too far back to go for a move now. Unfortunately for him, I'm sure Alid will now try and chase down Safi, who is currently 2 seconds up the road on the same strategy. Okay, so looks like the field is calming down a bit after that insane start where you took your eyes away for a second and something happened. Absolutely crazy. Not quite the kind of clean racing we wanted to see, unfortunately, but I'm sure you guys watching the stream won't mind that, as it's exciting racing anyway. As Ahmed is now under pressure from Granty Boy, who is on fresher, softer tyres after his pit stop, and is looking to make the ground back up to the front runners. Is he going to go for a move, or is he going to wait till the straight, as Ahmed made a mistake and he doesn't even have to think about it? He's passed the Mercedes driver with probably the easiest overtake he's ever going to make in his life. And we now have Flip-Flop catching up to Ahmed, so maybe he's going to be able to recover at least a little bit so far in this race. Simo is now under pressure from Coco, and Yopop is catching V8 Junior very fast. V8 Junior looking very off the pace here today. And so everyone on the field has made at least one stop except from Lopez, which means that he'll be looking to make one soon, as I don't think his mediums will go too much longer. And he'll probably drop way further down than he wants to, as now round the outside goes Coco on the Williams driver. Is he going to make it stick? He gets outbroken by the Williams into the chicane, very closely there, leaves enough space. Oh, he gets touched. Is he going to be able to keep ahead? Looks like he might. No, Simo's back past with DRS. I'm sure he won't appreciate the touch that Simo gave him there. Very disappointing to see, as Granty Boy sets the fastest lap of the race. He's now up into P4 past JJ Dog and is right on the tail of Lopez. Now, what's he going to do about this one? Is he going to send it into the chicane, or is he going to be a bit more patient and wait? Lopez goes a little bit defensive, but he's, yeah, waiting, backing off, going to set himself up for a good run out of this hairpin. And he gets a very good run out of this hairpin. He's got past the racing point even before the DRS zone. Very nice there, as someone was awarded a penalty, but I missed who it was. We now have Coco back behind Simo. This is very close to a section you don't want to be running side by side through. We've seen incidents here already today. Luckily they keep it clean as he backs out, and Simo looks like he's outbroken himself a little bit, as Flip-Flop Fish gets a 3-second time penalty. So he's not going to be happy with that at all. Good exit here for the McLaren, but it's not quite as good as the one that Williams got. DRS down the straight now. Another 3-second time penalty for Flip-Flop Fish. Is it going to stick this time, or is Simo going to try and do something about it? No, Simo stays behind. He's going to look for DRS coming into the second DRS straight. Is he going to be able to re-attack? No, he's way too far back. So looks like Coco's managed to get it to stick this time with a much cleaner pass than last time. And Flip-Flop Fish is out, and the safety car is out. What happened there? After all of those 3-second time penalties, has he rage quit and gone straight on here at the hotel section? He was right in that barrier ahead of you. Was that rage? Ooh, Coco racing the drive-through for speeding under the safety car. That will ruin his race. Down in P10 already, 30 seconds behind the next car. Flip-Flop Fish, as we now have J-Dog and Ahmed in the pits. Surprised not to see Lopez in the pits, but maybe he was a bit too far ahead to be able to get that one to work. So let's see the order reshuffle itself with the 12 runners we have remaining. As a second full safety car, third safety car of the race, as Simo gets a 3-second time penalty. Not what you would have wanted to get under the safety car, I'm sure. Whew. crazy this race, as I'm still trying to work out, was Flip-Flop Fish raging after that penalties he got and the very bad start he got to this race. Only P15, only lap 15 by the way, guys. I mean, we've lost what, 5? So that's one car every 3 laps in this race. So still lots of improvement needed to be done in this division in terms of cleanness and racing. Safety is going to keep the lead, but now has Aled right on his tail. What are the tyre situation? Aled is on 2 lap fresher tyres, so maybe that could make the difference in the restart. No, safety's coming into the pits. So Aled is following him. So now they're going to be on the exact same strategy. Granty Boy retakes the lead of this race with his fresher, soft tyres. He'll still be looking to make one more stop in this race. What tyres will Aled and Safety be going on to? Is it more mediums? More mediums for Aled and more mediums for Safety. I don't think they can go to the end of this race like this. I'm pretty sure. At least. Trying to think. What lap are we on? 16. So we've got 13 laps remaining under the safety cars. No, they probably could actually. So they will be looking to go to the end of this race on this compound, whereas Granty Boy will need to make another stop from the lead on his soft tyres as Simo pits for what I'm assuming will be mediums as well. Yeah, it's mediums. So under the safety car, another safety car that's going to take absolutely forever, unfortunately. Yeah, it's been very hectic, I think is the right word. So far in this race, it's been crashing all over the place, and some fairly aggressive driving resulting in many penalties and smaller incidents. I'm sure everyone in this race will think they're able to get points now, especially if this continues. I think anyone who doesn't get points will be very disappointed. So, looks like everyone's made their stops. As Hanyu is right where he started. Yep, so everyone's made at least one stop now, and we'll be looking to go to the end of the race, because Lopez has strapped on some mediums. So he's going to make a one-stop work here. Or is he? What did he start on? Did Lopez start on softs? I think Lopez started on mediums, didn't he? So he's going to have to make a stop because he has to run at least 2 different compounds of tyres. So he is very unfortunate. This second safety car has messed up his strategy as loosest pits. Now, is he going to change for some more mediums? Or, yeah, he's going to get more mediums. No, hards. Wow. Oh, no. Yeah, hards. Okay. Very glitchy for the game there. Hard tyres going for the Alfa Romeo driver. So, he'll definitely go to the end. But he'll probably won't be the fastest he could possibly be, as Axe joins the session. Very well-known name here in ERO. Races in F1 division. Everyone say hello. Not sure what they're doing here, because I'm pretty sure they've been told that they're not allowed to be race engineers or anything. So, I don't know. I don't know, guys. Maybe, maybe just come in to have a bit of a watch. As looks like Matt has replayed the first lap incident with Lexa. He's gone off the track, cut the first corner, rejoined right in the path of Lexa and his teammate. His teammate's lucky to only get away with front wing damage, but Lexer is out of the race. That does look like it's very much the fault of the Red Bull driver Matt there. So he might get a... Okay, I understand Martinho. So I think Matt might be looking for a penalty next race, because that was a very dangerous move for him there, to then cut the corner and rejoin so unsafely. From the looks of it, the safety car light is out, and Granty Boy is going to lead the pack away for the second safety car restart, and Lucis takes a penalty for colliding with V8 Junior. Now, is there damage for the drivers here as we come round? Is the camera going to show us a good angle before we go racing? If not, then I guess we'll never know. Pack bunched right up. It does advantage a few of the drivers in here, as Granty Boy is going to try and get away from this pack as fast as possible, because he does not want to be, as he goes very early, he does not want to be close to these guys when he has to make his next stop. As we restart, and it's been a bad start for Lucis, who's just pitted for hards but has now gone back into the pits. Oh no, that is horrible for him. Not his day at all. He is quite likely to finish in last place at this point, as most other drivers, with the exception of Granty Boy, can go to the end. Maybe Lopez, but Lopez might have to pit to change compound. Very defensive already on the straight, as Safety is going to pick up the toe, retakes the racing line, so any movement from here on out will be dangerous. And Safety's job here is really to stick as close to the back of that Williams as he possibly can, as we have fighting between Lopez and JJ Dog. These guys have been very close all race and have had some very eventful battles so far in this race, as everyone is looking for an overtake into this next corner. Is JJ Dog going to manage to go around the outside? He's been touched. That's a very late move from Lopez to cover him off there, and that just looks like pure carnage. Just didn't look very good. People all over the place down at that chicane. Now, are there going to be any opportunistic moves? As there is, and JJ Dog is out of the race. He looks like he's been absolutely annihilated by the Force India Lopez there, as a virtual safety car comes out. JJ Dog was simply sent to the shadow realm there with a absolutely huge crash where he went very airborne. Very unlucky for him. He's been impressive so far this race, as Simo does duck into the pits. Surprisingly, actually, I would have thought he would have tried to go to the end on those tyres. Lopez has not taken the opportunity to pit, so maybe he can go to the end of the race. I thought he started on mediums, but maybe not. Guess we don't know. Front wing change for Simo here, so it looks like he's had contact maybe with V8 Junior. Hold on. Ahmed is trying to overtake Yopop under the safety car. Virtual safety car over. And this is the... Ooh! That was intentional. And that is caught on stream. That is... that was very stupid from the Mercedes driver there. He is definitely going to pick up a penalty there. That was on purpose. He's wiped someone out under the virtual safety car completely intentionally. That is not good enough, not what you want to see from a league race at all. Okay, and back at the front, Safi has now dropped out of DRS of Granty Boy. So this should allow Granty Boy, as Lopez is now behind Ahmed, and that looks... What is this guy doing? This is disgusting. He better be giving that back, as the Ferrari of Anu makes a move on Coco Racing, who was pretty much put off by the carnage going on ahead of him, or where Ahmed was being probably the least clean out of any of the driving I've seen so far this season. As V8 Junior finds himself up in P8, so looks like fortunes are turning for him. As Coco enters the pit lane, maybe for damage. That would explain why he fell back all of a sudden, as I'm sure Lopez will have a bone to pick with Ahmed ahead of him as we come through the first sector. Is he going to try anything into this next chicane? Well, Ahmed has a poor run, he might make the move. Looks like they touched there, as he was squeezed off the track by Ahmed ahead of him. He's now fallen quite far behind, he's going to be under pressure from Anu. That could be a very costly mistake there from Lopez to try and make the move into the chicane. Safi is 2 seconds ahead of Aled, so there's no DRS pressure there for him, and Safi he's lapping about the same as Granty Boy by the looks of it, but that is still outside of the DRS zone, so he's going to want to try at least to get back into that DRS zone so he can stick with him up until the pit stop that Granty Boy will probably have to make. And that's a 3-second time penalty for V8 Junior, cutting that chicane once again. Not good news for the man in P7. Okay, through the section of the hotel. This is the closest battling track between Lopez and Anu and Ahmed. So hopefully they do something, because if they don't, we'll be very bored for the rest of this race. And Yopap gets past V8 Junior, who pits. So I don't know if he's picked up some damage somewhere, or if he's just going for some tyres change. Maybe he's looking to get a pace advantage over the cars ahead. He's not under too much pressure from Simo, as Lopez goes for another move at chicane. This time it looks like it's going to go better for him, but he's now going to be on the outside for this hairpin. You could use that to get a better exit, as it's a touch behind from Anu. So Anu will drop very far back on this straight, as he didn't get a very good exit. Is Lopez going to go for the move? Can Lopez do something with this extra advantage he's been given with DRS? Ahmed goes defensive. Sector 1 and Sector 2 yellow flag. It's a Ferrari of Lucis? Sorry, Alfa Romeo of Lucis, who has, for all intents and purposes, binned it on his own. Not what he would have been hoping for. Lopez just runs into the back of Ahmed there, and domino effect occurs, sending him into Anu and Yopap. Looks like Lopez and Anu probably have damage after that one, so Yopap will probably be given a free P5 here after what was a not ideal start to the race for him. He's not given up, and he's benefiting from it. So is Anu going to pit here? Yes, he is. Is Lopez going to follow him in? Yes, he is. Okay, so Yopap is now going to chase after Ahmed, as Lopez gets a 3-second time penalty for cutting the entrance to the pit lane. A very silly mistake there from the Racing Point driver. Now let's see what Yopap can do with this extra pace, as Aled has closed in on Safi, who's closed in on Granty Boy. He's within DRS zone now. Very spicy. This is heating up very nicely, as Granty Boy's soft tyres are they're dead. 10 laps on those softs and they're not going to survive too much longer. He's going to be very lucky if he gets into this race without a puncture. Those tyres they're gone, which will really not mean Safety's probably going to make he's patient and keeps calm, will make a good run at him somewhere in the next lap and be able to take a move for the lead. And Aled will be very close behind. As Yopap gets a 3-second time penalty, he's probably pushing too hard at this point, but he is within a second of Ahmed now. Granty Boy gets a 3-second time penalty, which would put him behind Safi now. And Granty Boy pits. He knows he can't take these tyres much longer, gifting Safi the lead. And a very close fight for the lead should now occur, with Aled not too far behind. Let's see what else is happening in the field. How close? Yopop very close to Ahmed. Ahmed's obviously had a very poor final sector there, and they will both get past Granty Boy, who will probably come out in P5 and look to chase down these two drivers. Still a podium on for the Williams driver here, if he plays this right. Maybe even more once penalties play out, if he really has the pace. Okay, Yopop looking for a much better exit here, and he's got it. Can he make the run on Ahmed down the straight? Is Ahmed going to try and pull what he did before on Lexa? I'd be very disappointed if he is. He's squeezing him as they go neck and neck into the chicane, and Yopop concedes the position, looking for a better run through this chicane, and he's right on the tail now. There should be nothing in his way of making this move work. He ducks to the inside, holds the inside line with DRS on Ahmed, and that is an easy move. Oh, Yopop has damage. Even more impressive the fact that he's done that with front wing damage, and Ahmed gets a 3-second time penalty for cutting the chicane. Granty Boy is now very close behind these two. Only 1 second behind Ahmed. So those fresh, soft tyres will be doing him a lot of good in this race, as he is probably going to make quick work of both of these drivers. Oh, as Ahmed gets a bit squirmy at the final corner, the penultimate corner, sorry, and that allows Granty Boy through. Nearly crashed into each other there, but I think the contact was kept to a minimum. Okay, Granty Boy's next victim will be Yopop. He's going to try and set up the move through this hairpin and look for a repeat move on what he did, or tried to do, on Ahmed at least. Trying to keep within the slipstream range of Yopop, who is trying very desperately to break it. And they're going to be side by side again into this corner. No! Yopop is behind, and Granty Boy has moved up onto the podium positions. I'm sure he'll be very pleased with that. His next target is Aled, 14 seconds up the road. I doubt he's going to get there in the next 4 laps, but maybe once penalties play out, he could be in very good contention for P2, or maybe even a win, depending on how many safe he has. If I'm right, I think he has 8 seconds, so it will not be enough for Granty Boy at this point in time. Unless he served them. Maybe safety served them in the pit stops, which would mean that it's even less than that. Interesting. Well, at any rate, I'm sure Granty Boy will be, for the rest of this race, pushing as hard as he can to try and get some more points. It's the fastest lap of the race, and that's another point for him right there. Yopop falling behind very rapidly, as no one on track is really anywhere near each other at this point, so let's take this opportunity to ride on board with the leader as Axa leaves the session and Aled follows him. And so does Axel. Okay, let's ride on board with our leader here, Safi. Been very impressive since starting F3. He's shown multiple times that he's fast and at the top end of the grid here. As a virtual safety car is called out and Lexa leaves the session. I didn't get to see who retired there, or if anyone retired at all. What's the reason for this virtual safety car? Why is there a virtual safety car? What's going on? No one's retired. It doesn't look like anyone's had an accident anywhere. I don't know. As we come to start lap 26 under the virtual safety car, I think this is now 4 safety cars, 2 virtual and 2 full safety cars in this race. And I don't expect we'll be seeing another one for the rest of this race unless someone messes it up all on their own accord. Which is completely possible. It does look like that, doesn't it? That the Lexa left and the virtual safety car came out because of it. Which is strange, because Lexa's been out of the race since lap 1. So yeah, just riding on board with our leader. I think the closest car to anyone else right now is Coco, who is hunting down Ahmed. So maybe before the end of the race we could see him, and there's a yellow flag in sector 3. I don't know who it's for. It's for V8 Junior, who has made a mistake at the final corner by the looks of it. Does he have damage? Yeah, looks like he might. Yeah, he's got no front right end plate. So Flip-Flop Fish has left the session. That took a while. Cool. Oh, Aled disconnected. That's why the virtual safety car came out. Oh, that is horrible for Aled, who was looking very comfortable in P2. Hopefully he can get re-invited by someone, because Granty Boy has now caught him, and that is wasn't so long ago. 2-3 laps ago, they looked like Granty Boy had no chance of catching him, and now Aled has lost P2 because of a disconnection, and his car is coming into the pits. Is he retiring? Wait, he looks solid again, so maybe he's back in the race. As this very comfortable P2 is now looking not so comfortable. Soft tyres go on, and he's going to look to make a late charge. Probably try and grab the fastest lap while he's at it, if I can stop tripping over my words. And so now Granty Boy, 9 seconds away from safety with 2 laps remaining, with 1.5 laps remaining. V8 Junior has just dropped outside the points. So very unfortunate for him there. That damage is not going too well for him. Okay, so it'll be another pointless race for Haas if this keeps up, and they will be very solidly at the bottom of the championship. I think the accident between Lucis and JJ Dog, JJ Dog turned into the hairpin at the hotel section, and Lucis just absolutely rammed him, just fully T-boned him and sent him flying into the barrier, is what I saw from this. Thank you, JJ Dog, for saying that my commentary is good. I would disagree, as Coco is caught up to Ahmed, looking for a move into the hotel section. Not happening here, I can tell you that one, and I'm sure JJ Dog will tell you the same. And I'm glad you're enjoying this league, JJ Dog, despite having retired. So, back to the action. Is he going to do anything onto the main straight? Looks like he's just too far back to do anything into turn 1. This is the annoying thing about Abu Dhabi, is this main straight is awful for overtake. You just can't make a move into turn 1, and it's something that really should be fixed, because it's where you would expect to be able to overtake, and it just limits the overtaking places at this track, which is not what you want from racing, as Coco outbrakes himself into the hairpin, unfortunately for him. Okay, Aled, sad to hear. You were doing very well so far in this race. I was hoping you'd get that P2, but unfortunately internet connections has robbed you, and I know exactly how that feels. I disconnected from the last 3 races I've been in. Anyway, as we run in through the second DRS straight, is Coco going to make a move around the outside? He goes for it, and he gets touched by Ahmed. Ahmed being very involved in this race. There's a yellow flag somewhere, not sure why. This was more interesting as Safety crosses the line to win. I completely missed that. Is Granty Boy going to take P1 from him? No, he's not. P2 for Granty Boy, and P3 should go to Yopop. An amazing recovery after a very, very difficult start to his race. But we should go back to the last lap battle going on between Ahmed and Coco. Is this going to switch because of penalties, as Simo is there as well? And how does it go? Coco P4, Simo P5 and Ahmed P6, just as expected. And Granty Boy's already left. He obviously doesn't want to say. Kind words, Crofty. Thank. I wish I was that good at commentating, mate. As Aled gets P8, very unlucky for him. Still, 4 points is better than none. And Lucis should take the last point in this race. Yeah, he's a very long way behind. He just wasn't on the pace today. Same issue for V8 Junior, I think. To be fair to V8 Junior, he did suffer some damage at the end of the race. And it's just how it goes, I guess. Also pitted for some softs. Okay, as we round the final corner, Lucist will take the final points paying position in P10, and well, the only person to really lose out in this race is V8 Junior, the only finisher to not score points. I'm sure he'll be very upset by that. Lexa, did you do something wrong? I don't remember. To be honest, I can't remember much that happened in this race. It was very eventful. Okay, so Safi is your winner, followed by Granty Boy, Yopop, Coco, Simo, Ahmed, Anu, Aled, Lopez, and Lucist. Your final finisher was V8 Junior, who got no points. The non-finishers were JJ Dog, Flip Flopfish, Darku, Paolo, Lexa, and Matt. And I'm sure Lexa will be very upset at Matt for taking him out at turn 3. And Matt will probably receive a penalty should Lexa choose to report that. But that's just my opinion. And obviously, stewards may disagree with me. Let's have a look. Incidents, yeah, look at this. Whew. Crazy amount of incidents, look at this. Wow. JJ Dog, yeah. A much more peaceful end to that race, I think. The final laps of that race were a lot less eventful than the first half of that race, which was absolutely insane. I don't think I've witnessed many races as crazy as that. That was something. If you missed that race, you missed out, because yeah, that was crazy. I had no clue who was going to win right up to the end because of penalties. I'm sure the incidents reports will come flying into the Discord the second this race finishes. I mean, that was, yeah, there was many moments in there that were just not what you want to see at all. But anyway, before I end the stream, I'm going to remind you that in about, what's the time now? 5:30. So in about half an hour's time, F2 will be racing at Abu Dhabi again, and tomorrow at 6 o'clock we'll have F1 racing at Singapore. So thank you all for watching, and hope to see you in half an hour. Bye.